Welcome to another episode of the Pulse. I'm Ricardo with Pulsing. why you why you look so relaxed? Where are you? The shirt all pull. Yo, you've been working out, huh? You look like you get buffer.
So you can talk. Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome to the weekend pulse. We are recording. Can we eat on the pulse?
I don't know. I guess anything goes. Is that the type of podcast we have, where anything goes?
No.
Oh, it's a professional commentary
No,
about what's going on in our society.
not the part. No. Did you see Rogan's podcast?
I did. Well, yeah, right. It's just like
Um, First of all, this is podcast. It's independent media. It's not the bright lights of the CNN. We get to do anything what we want, and that's the beauty of podcasts.
yeah,
That's what.
that's true.
Okay, and we are an independent podcast, non-aligned. Our trademark is the neoliberal.
Yes, we are.
We trademark our own podcast, so we not obviously or anybody. But Ricardo, what have you been up to though? There's so much has happened since the last podcast, since the last pulse.
A lot. We've been missing each other. This is
Yeah, Donald
you
Trump.
know.
Donald Trump is 100 days, but I don't know if you want to talk about Donald Trump or if you want to talk about sports, the NBA, what's going on with the NBA.
I mean, we could talk about. We like talking about politics. I mean, that's pretty much seems to be order of the day. Our lives have been overrun by politics. I can't wait for the day for us to kind of go back to the time where we didn't think about politics 24/7 or Donald Trump 24/7. I feel as though since he's been in the public eye, it's just not everything everyone talk about is Donald Trump. So he's right about that. You
Well,
know,
that's what happened before he was president. I mean, the media loves him. They love him. That for
they're
some
making money.
very
That's
charismatic, and he just has some. He's very charismatic.
He's
He's
not
very fun.
charismatic anymore. He's lost that charisma. I saw him on TV the other day. He looked old, decrepit, like he was gonna fall over. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm over these 82-year-old or 80-year-old, whatever their ages are, just trying to run the show. Their time is up, over, bye. That's why I look at it. You know, maybe he was charismatic at one point, but no more. It's time for younger, fresher blood, fresher. They want to go back, bring America, make it great again. They want to go back in time. Our society don't stop. It continues. So when people start realizing that every life changes, the world has changed. If you look at the Catskills and how the ice is melting and how our weather is changing and our society changed, and I feel as though people just need to relax and calm down. And no matter how they try so hard to go back to the past, because he's some geriatric that's living in the past that wants to go back in the past, you can't stop it. It
Yeah.
is going to happen.
What do you have to say about Trump 100 days though? First 100 days.
Chaos, messy, fine. You need to make changes, but you don't take over an organization and then all of a sudden just upend everything and think it's going to be chaotic and messy, and sometimes you can't even get back to
But
your
the pundits call it transactional. That's his transactional approach.
what steal from the people. He's gonna be making money as well, pocket some stuff, making sure he could make sure he's
Wait,
set
hold
and his
on.
family is
Hold on.
set.
What's going on there? I haven't heard anything about that. But
I
somebody
mean,
been touting the fact that his children are traveling all over the world. Secure.
making more money, making deals. Elon Musk has been like literally, of course, they're paying him for. This is why I said to people, all of this donation, all this money that he's giving these politicians to run and to, and backed by Elon Musk, he's gonna get his money back twofold. Like, and
Yeah.
if they fail, it doesn't matter. They're all going to be richer by the time they're done ransacking our our kitty. I'm going to call it our piggy bank
But
when they're done.
what do you make of one? Well, the China deal was made after the first 100 days, but it's still in the early days of his presidency. What are you making of what's going on in terms of? Well, we know that there is no deal in Russia. The Russia-Ukraine deal is in terms of the peace between Russia and Ukraine is not going to be as quick he has
Well, he
promised.
said if he was president, I could do this. You have to be weird. People have to be cautious about people who said they're the only one who could do this. If I'm president, I am going to do this. There would not be any war. I could do this. Human beings are so stupid. I just can't anymore. Donald Trump is one man. Okay? All right? No
What do you
man
make of
is
all
an
these
island.
What do you make of all these world leaders like Brazil meeting with Putin? This is ridiculous. Giving him some kind of validity or validation.
The strongman society that we live in, that's what they do. People are stupid. The people of the world are so they think that we're ants. I feel like they think that we're all ants. And
Yeah,
some of these, I'm sorry, some of these Republicans and some of these people who are conservative, they're all ants. They want to go back to where society used to take advantage of people who are less fortunate than themselves. That's what
yeah,
they want to do. They want to like destroy. I mean, back in the days when they used to destroy people of color, take over nations, and take away their sovereignty and take away their assets, sovereignty, take away their assets, take away all of the, and then, and then all of a sudden you're running behind this guy who's trying to take away these countries, destroy them, and then work them to death. I don't know. Did you watch um, the Mockingjay, the series?
Oh, what's that series called, Dante? Mocking Jay Bird.
The games of
Yeah, I know. I know which one you're talking. The games of whatever. Yeah, I
some
don't.
other games, whatever
I
games they are.
actually no. I don't. I have.
Where you have the motherland where everybody in these other
Yeah.
countries are supposed to work like and take care
Hunger
of
Games. The Hunger
the
Games.
Hunger Games. They're
Hunger
supposed to
Games. Yeah.
work and take care of the motherland, make the motherland feel nice, and then they just take advantage of other people and kill them when they want. And I mean, this is what we're going back to. Like people need to understand, like the humanity is we're losing our humanity, and 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 I come to realize that the people who had voted for Trump are nothing but hate. They're filled with hate. When somebody come to me and say, "Oh, I can't believe that he's doing this. Give me a break." You can't believe he's doing this. You knew he was going to do it.
Yes,
You're
they
filled with
can.
hate.
I believe it. They can.
No, you're filled with hate. You're
Uh-huh.
filled with hate, and you decided that you're willing to obfuscate the truth. You look beyond truth, to look beyond all the bad stuff that this person have done, and you've decided to sell yourself to the devil and elect a person who is going to probably try to destroy your country and your world instead of bring it back together. You know what? Some of these people
But
did
look what's
not.
going. When they, but what's happening right now? Do you wish any? Is there any signs of destruction right now?
Destruction is slow. It's slow.
You are very pessimistic. I mean, you don't see any bright light,
Yeah,
any
the bright light is people
any
are
silver
strong.
lining, any
I
silver lining with this president.
Yeah, people are strong in America. That's one thing that we have. We are individualistic. We are
What
strong.
about what's going on? What about the you? Okay, fine. What's going on with immigration on the board? I understand that in terms of not in terms of the due process, because you know where I stand in terms of due process. I don't believe that Americans. I believe that all human beings should be accorded due process. Okay, and if Americans won't accord other people due process, then when Americans go elsewhere, then they may not want to accord due process to us. That's a problem. But in terms of immigration, I understand that illegal immigration is down. They've kind of they have controlled they have slowed down illegal crossing at the border significantly. What about this Ukraine? Sorry, this U.S. UK deal, $6 billion. Is it $6 billion over the next 10 years or something of the sort? And then and in terms another $6 billion in terms of open access markets. But what do you make of that, of those small gains?
They're small gains. I don't even know if I can believe them. Everything that they tell you is true. They're telling you they cut money. They cut all of this money and they cut. Yes, we understand people aren't crossing the border. Yeah, that's great. Whoop to do. All right. We weren't losing. We weren't losing ourselves. They were
Yeah.
utilizing these people who were coming crossing the border and they were taking them in and working them as slaves, paying them less than minimum wage so that they could do electrical work, do farm work. Some of these people, they were using them to do all of this stuff. Give me a break. They weren't detrimental to our society. We're still surviving. We're still making money. All right. All right. So what? These people are coming across the border because they're running away from. Some of them are not true. Some of them are a lie. But don't forget that it was this. It was the same. The reason why there was a major issue at the border was because they did not want to come together and work together. People forget that there was a border deal that Donald Trump killed because he wanted to use it as an opportunity, as a victory for so that he could win the election. And people are talking about it, saying, oh my God, he's doing a great job. Give me a break. If he wanted to do a great job, they should have done a great job a long time ago. They could have done a great job from before he came into office. The Republican Party decided not to do it. So you know what? You're trying to claim victory for something that you killed. They were trying to do all of this, all right? Maybe not the way in which you're doing it. And the way in which you're doing it makes no sense. All right? Destroying people's lives. Unacceptable. All right? Destroying, deporting Americans accidentally. One American deported is a lot. One American citizen deported and just captured and handcuffed like common criminal and put them in jail and then deporting them is a lot. So if you tell me only one incident, I don't care. There should be none.
But do you like? Okay, fine. But what about in terms of taxing the rich? He is Donald Trump, and that's what pulsing or trending right now. The taxing the rich. What do you think about him taxing?
Did it happen yet, or did he talk about it? He just talked about it.
But there are conservatives who are against him taxing.
Renaldo, he is talking about it. Did he go and sign a big black pen and sign it in his Oval Office and put it up like he make it a big statement? No, he talked about it, but he didn't.
But you know that's Donald Trump's style, very transactional approach.
Renaldo,
he wants to hear
if he cared about taxing the rich, he's done it a long time ago. Why is it the last thing to do?
He just became president. Why?
Yeah, because he's throwing a bone. Throwing a bone.
Wait, hold up. One of the reasons we have always heard them talking about taxing the rich. Biden has talked about taxing the rich. Bush, president after president. But the problem is, it's not just the president. It's also the politicians in the legislature. The Republicans in the House, the conservatives, they have to also agree. And they do not agree with Donald Trump on this issue.
They have to tax the rich if they want to balance the budget. His goal is to balance the budget before he leaves. He wants to do big things. He wants to balance the budget.
But wait, hold on. I'm listening. Isn't this something to celebrate? Donald Trump has fine. I know you're pushed back on Donald Trump. You're not a big fan of Donald Trump, but fine. The fact that
because he's a criminal, and I do not celebrate and cherish criminals.
But he is president. The country voted for him. The people voted for him. He's president.
I didn't vote for him.
It doesn't matter. Whoever, but he's
fine. He's president, and he's doing. I mean, he's learning the hard way. Listen, fine. He wants to tax the rich. Yes. He tried to do so much thing the wrong way, and then he gets cake in his face, and then he comes back, and then he's just like you're throwing everything all at once, and you're trying to see which stick. Oh, this is not working. Let's try. This is not a poppy show. This is a major industrial nation. It should be done with care and love and methodical and strategy. You don't all of a sudden you're going to tax the rich because you realize that your way of doing it is not going to work. If you really want to make and splash in things, you're going to really have to tax the rich a little bit more because the rich has so much money that if you tax them even 1% more, they're not even going to feel it or see it, or it's still going to be rich.
Well, studies show, I think the studies were conducted, in the previous administration, because Biden was touting taxing the rich. And the Republicans shut down the bill. But however, and they did research. They went as far as to pay money to do research that shows that it wouldn't affect the millionaires and the billionaires. And surveys showed that millionaires and billionaires were advocating for this. And of course, we talked about this on the Pulse. Didn't we talk about this? And I said,
Yes,
I believe that
but like I said,
Donald
all of
Trump
a
is
sudden he's
listening to
doing it.
listening to
The,
the conversation
the
because
only reason why he wants to do this right now is because he recognized that the only way
it's not going to work.
his stupid plans are not
And
working.
getting rid of and the cuts, the Doge cuts won't help because the Doge cut is to extend $880 billion in tax cut.
The Doge cuts have caused a lot of issue. The Doge cuts, there were people that he cut in Doge that their job was to work on efficiency and making sure the money spent in wisely cut those people. They were cutting people that didn't have no business cutting. They're cutting people that were supposed to work in so many departments that were cut. And right now you see in transportation, you see what's going on in the airline situation where we don't have enough air traffic control because DEI. You know
And
what?
they are referring them. Did you see what happened? Was it
No, you need DEI hires
Ricardo?
because
Did you
they
see what
need
happened in New
people.
York? Did you see what happened in New York with the plane that almost I mean with the air traffic control, they lost electricity, they lost light. Did you see that yesterday?
Well, I'm just saying they're trying to appease their base. They're trying to appease these hateful people because they use the word DEI. Sounds like you're against people of color. You're against
Yeah,
black
but
people.
Ricardo, hold up. But listen to
And
what I'm
party,
saying.
his base, the MAGA base, they're all hateful. Most of them are hateful, illiterate. I'm sorry if they're watching the show and they love the show.
Yeah, but
A lot of them
yes.
are they lack basic understanding of how the society works. They don't understand American civic. They need American civic lesson. They don't know anything. They just are filled with hate and and lust and covet people. Think I heard one MAGA person that came to my house with a friend of mine who said something about immigration and she didn't know anything, all right, about it. What she said was flat out false. In fact, Paul was like went off on her because she was ridiculous.
What did she
Ridiculous.
say? What did she say? What is the
She was
position of
talking about immigrants and talking about how they come and show up and driving and they just get all this free stuff and they're getting benefit from the government and they show up with BMWs and all these cars and then they live for free. They don't pay their bills and they have all these kids. Not true.
Are they talking about the African American? Sorry, let me not.
They're
I
talking
don't
about
want people to put African American.
look. I'm Jamaicans, people from other country. A lot
They
of
are
immigrants,
workaholic
they
and
work,
they have
but they like
turned
things.
and they give themselves labels.
They like nice things and they will drive. They will live in a broken down shack and drive a
And
job.
they give
And they
them
will work 4 jobs
they
to
call
take
them
that.
coolie. Yes, they call them coolie, or they call them. We need some Mexicans. Yes, we need some Mexicans. Yes.
I don't want to. We've talked about this and we've exhausted this topic before. Like all I'm basically saying.
Anyway, the point, yeah. But I wanted to ask the question about in terms of immigration, and immigration is down.
Yes.
Illegal immigration is down at the border. That's good. Um, I'm a proponent of that. But at the same time, there have to be the way how I'm against due process. That's not good.
That's the only thing that you have to tell. Every time they make a mess,
Um,
and it's Ronaldo, the Republican Party, Donald Trump, and his cabinet. Every time they are making a mess, every time they mess up, they think that the American people are stupid. They
yeah.
come out and all they talk about is what immigration. Look, people are not crossing the border, and then we're doing great because
But no, but that was a really hot button issue
the
for
only
many
way
people.
they could block.
But illegal immigration is a hot button issue and it's a political issue. And we live and many in this country, Republicans and Democrats, liberal, it's usually they'll politicize the issue. It's one of the things that they politicize in order to get votes. Okay, it's a conservative issue because conservatives don't want immigrants here. It's a liberal issue because liberal want people here. And so
It's only a conservative issue because they want it to be. They want to maintain this issue. They want to keep it going so they have something to talk about. If it doesn't exist anymore, what are they going to talk about next? Yes. Once it's cleaned up, so they wanted to keep this an issue so that they could have something to talk about. Now it's gone. All right. So now it's gone. What are they going to talk about next? They're going to destroy everything else. Don't forget that every single time, the last several years, every single time a Republican has been in power, we've had a major catastrophe or crisis, and a Democrat had to come and clean it up. And Americans keep forgetting that. And Americans are ungrateful. The Americans are ungrateful.
I mean, you know, some people
Spoiled.
love
Let me
some.
finish.
You know,
Let me
I
finish.
think when I look at the world, you know, something came to my mind today. You know, when you look at life, life is boring. It would be boring without wars, I guess. We wouldn't have all these developments. We wouldn't have all these advances. But then you would say, are there advances or advancements? Or maybe it's a regression.
I always tell people I have one life to live. I should be allowed.
The conflicts in politics and so on, some people love that, the thrill of it. And they love the conflict and the contention. I think and the chaos, because then it always, the status quo always wins. Because look what happened. The OPEC oil crisis has transformed the Caribbean into dependencies. The OPEC oil crisis in the 1970s. In the 19 World War One and Two created a new world order where now Palestinians have to give way to the Jews coming back to their land in 1946, 47, whatever the case is. I mean, and then of course that has completely shifted the geopolitical issue landscape in Palestine and the Middle East. I mean, Ricardo, they loved crisis. Donald Trump.
Who's they?
The status quo, the oligarchs. You know, because it is a way to constantly put people against each other, and that's what's happening right now.
Well, by keeping people stupid. What they try to do is make people illiterate or ignorant. That's what they do. They try to keep people down, try to eliminate destroy the education system, try to increase the illiteracy rate and make people illiterate in all over the world. Okay, which you think it's bad, but you think it's good, but it's bad. A lot of these places, they want people to, like, you know, you're attacking the education system. I mean, instead of attacking it, make it better. Oh, it's bad. How do you make it better? Attacking instead of building. Okay, I get what you're saying, but it doesn't benefit anyone when you operate in like this. Okay, it doesn't benefit.
Listen, well, yes, well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is that, say, for example, there are those who agree that some level of income inequality is necessary. There are those who agree with some level of poverty is necessary. There are those who would agree some level of hardship because it's a deterrent to people. People will want to work. The problem is the conservatives, the Trump administration, Republicans are arguing that society has been, people aren't working, people aren't producing in society. Life has become too easy for some people. And so they want to get rid of social welfare. Yes?
Wait. What do you mean too easy? For whom?
Well, for Black and brown people, for DEI hires.
But you're trying to say the reason why they're trying to make changes because life for Black people have become easier, where we're supposed to be suffering. They're supposed to see us as the N word, and
that is normal. What I'm telling you now, the point I'm trying to make is the society that they're trying to create a platonic society. Everybody in their own place, and MAGA is about going back. Okay, so the problem is all these African Americans and brown people and immigrants and people are coming in, and we live in a competitive society. But more people coming in, it means it lowers the playing field. More competition means less wealth for those people who are wealthy. So then you have to make it harder for people again. It means, say, for example, one thing they were saying that the federal government has hired all these people, has hired a lot of African American, Black and brown people. You know, I'm playing the devil's advocate. They've hired all these African Americans, and they're bringing home $3 and $6 million a year. I'm talking about people who occupy federal positions. So it is within America's interest. But which America? The status quo or Caucasian American.
But do you want that in an industrialized nation? This is America. You want that in an industrialized nation. You want the people to be self-sufficient. You want them to be wealthy. You want them to feel as though they're accomplishing the American dream. That's why
But everybody cannot be wealthy. Look. I mean, look what's going on with the inflation. If everybody, but that is why the Fed exists to mop up liquidity. Everybody just cannot be wealthy. And fine. You are talking about it in a realistic way.
But everybody's not wealthy.
No, everybody's not.
The last several years, the wealth is predominantly at the top 1% the top 1 to 3% control most of the wealth in our society today. In fact, the middle class has been losing its wealth. Crazy. Younger people can't afford to purchase homes anymore, and they have to rent because right now you're talking about it's competition and they're getting easier and easier. You need it to be easier for them so they could go to work. We still have the people.
I'm not saying I agree with that, but what I'm saying is that the society has become loose, become easy. They become more accessible, more access.
Well, yeah, you need that. That's how it goes to show that
yes and no.
Society.
They're getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion because that has allowed more access. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but who's gonna do the other job? Who's gonna work? Right now, people are not working. They're not having kids. They're not working. So you're gonna have to.
That is true. They're not having kids.
You're gonna have to take advantage of people of color, and what you do is you make them act like you. You make them understand how to be professional, how to have a beautiful yard, how to have a beautiful lawn, how to treat other people with the dignity, how to not be, act crazy within a community. Like in certain Black and brown communities, they are just they call them ghetto. Make them take pride. Give them an opportunity to have a beautiful home to go home to and take pride in their house. How is that a bad thing? I was talking to a lady today when I was doing my hair at the hairdresser, right? And she's from Asbury Park when Asbury Park was poor and was ghetto, and they didn't like Asbury because they were like, "Oh my God!" And she worked for the transit system. She's a Black woman for 35 years, and she was able to purchase a home up the hill next door to our family member who live up the hill where they're predominantly Black. And one thing I liked about Neptune up the hill is like it's the only place that I've come to from Jamaica since I've been here where I'm able to live in a community of predominantly predominantly Black people who took pride in their neighborhoods, who took pride in their homes and their grass and their yard and make sure everything looks beautiful. They have beautiful cars. And this woman started out, your brother worked for the cable company, he's a cable guy, works very hard, right? You have another guy who's a plumber, the Black man. The woman, she was a transit worker for 35 years, right? And they don't do that. And she's able to contribute to pay taxes, unlike a lot of these other people who are not Black and brown. There are a lot of people who are not Black and brown. Because Black and brown people they don't know the tricks of the trade. But there are people of color who don't know the tricks of the trade. They pay their taxes religiously, they go to church, they get their car, they have their home, they're trying to get a piece of the pie, and then you have some of these people who are wealthy, white people, okay, they know the tricks of the trade. They know how to not pay taxes, all right? They know how to have a land of 8 acres and call it a farm, so they only pay $200 a year.
But this is important, and that's true, but this is important.
And you're talking about everybody have to feel like they are contributing and then feel like they can achieve. That's the America. That's true,
but not yes, can achieve, but fine. When you look at what Trump is doing over the since he's taken up the presidency, and I said to you, crisis. His approach, what the pundits have said is that he has a transactional approach to doing business in terms of getting things done. And of course, and I talk about the idea of crisis as a crisis creates an opportunity. And I say to you, but also they've touted the crisis that DEI is a problem in the sense that it creates access. Access and opportunity to people who you want to do certain jobs because, of course, Donald
Well,
Trump.
like women, DEI has helped women a lot.
Yes, but you want them to do certain jobs.
White women.
So they're okay, fine. Less immigrants are coming here, right? They have control of the border. So fine, they'll have less workers to do certain jobs. So they created. So what they have done, they're trying to deal. What they're trying to make things harder here, in the sense that less make it much more difficult to get social welfare, food stamps, or cutting on certain programs, or they still want to do that. Touting government efficiency, but not cut efficiency. They're cutting so that to create make a harsher reality here so that it will drive Americans where a lot of Americans are on welfare, a lot of Americans have certain access to certain opportunities you want them don't want access to. You want to drive them to certain jobs, drive them. So therefore, I think that is part of the philosophy. That is part of the understanding too. You can, I mean, who is going to do some of these jobs that the immigrants who are not going to be here doing?
Good luck. Nobody's doing that. As long as you're social media and people and companies are ready to spend money, none of these young people that we have graduating are going to be gravitating towards these ridiculous jobs that they want people to take. I used to work in HR. I and talent.
No, you cannot say they're ridiculous jobs.
They are
It
ridiculous
depends
jobs.
on who is saying that because yeah.
No, that I'm just telling you what these young people are saying out there. Young people are graduating and they're saying that ridiculous job. You know, they go to work and they work 2 days. I'm not coming back.
You're right. You're right.
They're not coming back.
Yeah.
Try because who's gonna do it? So you're gonna let people of color do it now? Come on, there's a huge sports market right now. It's all about sports. Everybody wants to be a
This is a great segue into sports. Great. Let's talk about sports. And by the way, and Donald Trump has been talking about the World Cup. That's about the World Cup is going to be here in the U.S. The next World Cup is going to be here in the U.S.
How about the fact that Donald Trump made a statement, a blanket statement, which I just think he did it to get under people's skin, which is what he does. First of all, that's the next thing I'm talking about. We have a president who is a child. He's childish. I cannot listen to someone who is like, yes, we need to. You're a president for the strongest country, and you're going to say that you're going to tax all movies that are made that are not made in the U.S. That makes no sense.
Hold up. I didn't hear that.
Yes, you're going to put a tariff on all movies, 100% tariffs on all movies that are not made in the U.S.
Some of the greatest movies are made overseas, like Squid Games. No, Squid Games. Isn't that an Asian movie?
Yes, it is.
From
But
Netflix, a lot of top Netflix movies come from China.
Most movies that people consume throughout the world is made in the U.S. So it's been
that is true. So if you wow, I see your point.
It's just stupid. And then there's a lot of movies that are made in America where we have that people fly, they're traveling to another country, and then they have to come back. So you need to film the movie overseas. I mean, it just makes no sense.
It's a mess, but I guess that's part of his transactional.
We use the word transactional like it's something fantastic.
I mean, that's what CNN and MSNBC they keep saying that. They keep saying that.
They keep using that,
and they smile. It's transactional approach of doing business.
It makes no sense to me. Like, I don't listen to CNN. All right, sometimes they're stupid. I come to realize they're so smart. These news reporters and these pundits on the CNN go off in a.
John Anthony Castro, who was suing Donald Trump for violating Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, and we had him on the show. We did the Castro v. Trump series. He was running for president, multi-millionaire. He's reached out to us from federal prison. He's still fighting and trying to get out of jail. He said that he sent us a message. Later on, we will share his message from prison, and I will give an update. But he is alive and well, but we continue to pray for him. But I want to switch gears and talk about sports. Because New York, you're in New York. What's going on with New York? I saw that Bronson. But first of all, I'm in Philadelphia, and I'm going to tell you this: I do not like the New York Knicks. Okay, but that if you are watching and you are a Knicks fan, not to lose hope because my twin brother here is a Knicks fan, and
Well,
he's
they lost today. It was
great.
but they're still up in the series 2-1. But it seems as though Celtics woke up the 3-pointers and my
Wait,
very
they're playing the Celtics.
the Boston
Oh,
Celtics.
wow, wow, wow,
My
wow.
problem with the NBA, which is why I don't watch it in the regular season, is because they blow the whistle for everything. It's so annoying. The thing about basketball, it's a fast game. It's a fast game. They move, they're moving, they're throwing the basket, they're going. Sometimes, yeah, they need to give them a break. They need to call certain egregious fouls. But like, if somebody brushed somebody wrist or brushed someone and didn't really impede them on a shot, they're gonna blow.
Yeah.
I'm like, give me a break. Like, can we
So
just?
you want? Is that what happened at the game today?
Yes, it's like they're brushing their hands against someone else's. It's just like this person is like pushing their rear end up into the other person, and it's a foul. The defender is fouling, even though he is the offensive person who's trying to score the basket, is pushing up against the other person and trying to draw the foul. And it seems like that's what they do. They try to draw fouls, and then the game stops. At one point, the whistle must have blown like 3 times in 1 minute. I kind of was like, you know what? I'm not watching this anymore. This is why I don't. This is why I love. I love baseball. I love tennis. I love those type of sports. But I only can get. I mean, yes, I'm a kind of sort of a Knicks fan. I do love the Golden State, but I'm not married to basketball. Like I am excited about tennis.
Who do you have? Who do you have? Make going to the finals.
It's really tough. It's really tough this year. Anyone could get there. They're all good teams. They're all playing really well. And I'm going to tell you this: the team that will get to the finals are the teams that the referee loves. I'm oh,
Wow,
I
wow, wow, hold on. That is a scandalous statement. Why do you say that?
because they're all good. They're all great teams. They all play really well. I feel like so they're all evenly
No,
matched.
you said that the ref. Are you saying that the refs are going to be
Of
in
course, come on. The
in
referee's gonna in sports in general in sport except for tennis, which you can't manipulate the game. You can't. All you could do is call it. Say, I know they have the challenge system, so it's really hard. But in sports, not even in baseball, so it's called baseball, you could call a ball out that's in maybe 3 4 times. But in the back, it's one thing I noticed is that the umpire can change the game, especially if their team is evenly matched. An umpire could change the literally who wins and loses. And if people are saying that's not true, give me a break.
yeah.
Like they made like today. Not like and like I said, I always tell you, I am not a huge basketball fan. I watch it now. I went to a basketball party because it's just something to do, and I love sports. Like today, the in the NBA, the Knicks took a basket, and the other team was like, no, 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 goaltending. They replayed it, and you realize it wasn't goaltending, but they didn't give the point to the other team. All right, so they can't continue playing stuff like that. Then like this guy brushed against the other guy. His hand brushed against it, like a whistle. Then this guy bent over and like he threw himself to the ground. Another whistle, and I was like, I can't. So we just decided to just started watching the Yankees game, poured ourselves some a glass of wine or prosecco, and we had a conversation, and then we went onto the patio and we talked, and because it's just like, and then we started the game was over. But I really and truly am not a huge, and that's why I don't watch basketball. I can't bring myself to watch basketball because basketball is not what it used to be. Basketball is just like they blow the
The
whistle for
umpiring or the refereeing, whatever they call it. Is it the refereeing? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. They just especially and then it's turned to like a 3 point game. Whoever throws the best 3 pointers wins. That's it.
Yeah.
And then if you throw a 3 pointer, you're not allowed. You can't post a person post up. You can't foul someone or try to even go close to them because you breathe on them. Somebody
It's too much. It's as if they make the game, the rules today, make it so that they can have these 3 pointers, so that you can have this clear winner. I mean, there's too much. Uh, anachronism, so to speak. You know,
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm watching
it's too
Golden
anachronistic.
State is playing Minnesota right now. It's 1-1 series.
Yeah.
Golden State came back from being down like about 10 points.
Wait,
And
hold on. Minnesota is playing Golden State Warriors.
yes, in the playoffs right now, the second round.
Minnesota is a team. I really like that guy, Anthony Edwards, but I just believe that Golden State is a very good team. I think.
Yeah, but Curry's out. Curry's going to be out for about 5 days.
What?
He has an injury. I got hurt in the last series, in the opening or the first round actually of the series, but they end up
What's the standing in this? What's the score right now?
it's 53-50.
No, sorry. I mean, like, what's the series?
It's 1-1
Okay.
in the series. Golden State is up right now in this game, 53-50 with 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
Although they have all the Steph Curry is injured. They're telling me that they're up and it's 1-1.
Yes.
Wow. Golden State.
Jimmy Butler's on the team. Green is putting up
Butler plays for wait, hold on. Jimmy Butler plays for Golden State.
Where have you been? Yes.
Wow. Why didn't LeBron James have this set? LeBron James have one guy. He needs two good guys.
So the team is great now. They're playing really well. Jimmy Butler's great.
Jimmy Butler.
I like him. He likes.
I mean, the Lakers are awful. I mean, I'm sorry we are talking about the Lakers because I'm a LeBron James fan and I don't like I'm mad that the Lakers is out right now. They got this guy, Luca, whatever his name is. Luca and LeBron. No. They need three good guys. Keep Anthony Davis and get Luca. The hell? That's what should have happened.
Well, they did it. It's done because Luca is supposed to be this big money guy. It's all about money. It's a monetary transaction. That's why it was done. Because he going there would allow the team, and then LeBron probably might be leaving. Might be his last year. We don't know.
No, it's not LeBron James' last year. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, but it's a money. Now they're trying to build. It's a monetary transaction. I feel like why they sent what's his name over there because Luka Doncic brings a lot of people. A lot of people love him. A lot of people likes him. All right, and they're trying to make this team into this big team. This really, and they felt like with him, he would be a better fit. So they sent Anthony to Dallas, and of course,
yeah. But who do they have in the Lakers apart from LeBron and Luka?
I don't know.
That's
Westbrook plays Westbrook plays for Denver Nuggets, and they won yesterday.
That's what I'm talking about.
They won.
They keep making bad decisions, and that may be the LeBron James effect. But you said, look. The Golden State have Steph Curry. What's that dark kid name?
Draymond Green, yes.
Draymond Green.
Jimmy
Butler. And some other really good young kid this other young kid, what's his name? They got some good people over there. LeBron, Lakers.
Young, and they play well together as a team.
Yeah. LeBron James have LeBron and Luka, and that's it. And some inconsistent players, and then a bench that has always been awful. They cannot get a good bench. Oh, ridiculous.
I know. Well, how about your guy, Doc Rivers, who destroyed the Philadelphia 76ers? Now he went to this other team.
He keep going to teams and
he went to this team. Yeah, that's great.
He's washed up. He has
a great team, and they lost again.
He keep going to great teams, coaching great guys, and keep destroying.
Yeah.
After the Celtics, he should not have been coaching again. He's gotten great teams after the Celtics, and he has done a miserable job. He goes to these teams and he turned them into disasters.
Yeah. Anyways, we had a great talk. The French Open is coming up soon. French Open.
Yeah, tennis is coming up. Who do you have? Who do you have for the French Open?
The French Open, I would love to see Coco Gauff take the title. I also would love.
What's your ranking right now? What's Coco Gauff, the American Coco Gauff? What's your ranking?
2.
She's 2 in the world?
Yes.
How is she 2 in the world and she does not win anything?
What do you mean she doesn't win anything?
I mean, well, I guess I'm not watching.
anything.
I wouldn't mind a tournament to come second and fifth in the majors.
That's not true. What do you mean fifth? There's no such thing as fifth. There's no such thing as fifth in the majors, either winners or losers. First of all, she lost in the finals of Madrid last week on this past Sunday. She won a tournament this year already. She was in the quarterfinals she's always in the quarterfinals, semifinals, or finals. All right. Do you know she's been in 12 finals and she's only lost 2. She's never lost in the final of a hard court in her entire life.
But who do you think her biggest, toughest rival or toughest competitor?
For Sabalenka, that's it. I don't think anyone else can really beat her. She's pretty good. I like her.
What about Swiatek? What's going on with
Swiatek? She's coming down. They figure her out, and right now remember when she was handing out bagels and breadsticks? They're handing her bagels and breadsticks now.
Wow.
She's losing. She's losing, Ronaldo.
I watched her game and I was very concerned about why she was winning and so dominant. She does not have the best game in tennis.
Well, everybody figured her out. She got destroyed by Danielle Collins today, this American girl. Yeah. Danielle Collins beat her 6-1, 7-5 today.
What tournament is at the French Open?
Coco Gauff beat her in Rome, Italian Open. Coco Gauff beat her last week in Madrid. That's a Masters 1000, one of those top clay court season. Coco Gauff beat her in the quarterfinals, 6-1, 6-1.
Yeah. What about the men's side, ATP side? What's going on the men's side? What's going on with Djokovic?
Jannik Sinner's back from his drug suspension.
Yeah.
So today was his first tournament. It's his first day back in his first tournament and first day. Ironically, is suspended for 3 months.
Wow.
But just in time for him to play his hometown. He's from Italy. So the suspension was 3 months, and he made it just in time to be back for his home.
He was strategically and carefully suspended.
He was strategically and carefully suspended so that he will come back in time for the Rome Open because he's from Italy. And I don't care.
What about Djokovic, though? What's going on with Djokovic?
That's what it looks like, and they should never have done it that way. They should have suspended him long enough for him to come back.
Fine. Okay, hold on. Why was he suspended? What's going on with him?
For drugs. He I can't remember the name. Clostopol. Some drug that apparently his physio was massaging him with, and massaged him, and it went through his system. He had an open wound, and that's what happened.
But isn't Sinner the guy that usually hollering on matches? And
no, he's very quiet. He's number 1 in the world. Blonde hair kid.
Oh, he's the skinny, slim one that looks very
Yeah, he's number 1 in the world. He's good. Nobody could beat him. He's good.
Oh yeah, he is just a grinder. What about what's going on with Djokovic?
He's done. He's a donezo. He's done. He's not retiring. He's playing, but he retired. He said he's not. Last week he got beat up by some people who's ranked outside of the top 100.
Oh wow.
This week he pulled out of Rome. He hasn't won a tournament since the Olympics. The Olympics was the last time he won anything. Okay? And he was lucky to have won that because Alcaraz was winning and for some reason choked.
Alcaraz from Spain. What's going on with Alcaraz, the Nadal?
Alcaraz is number 2 in the world. He's been struggling with some injuries. He did win a tournament 2 weeks ago, Monte Carlo. He pulled out of Madrid because he just wanted to recover. And now he's playing in Rome. Actually, he won Barcelona. And pulled Barcelona. He won, and now he pulled out.
Monfils is still playing. I see.
Well, yeah, Monfils is always. You know what? People forget that Monfils always just. The reason why he's not done more in his career is because of injuries. He's always injury prone because he's always throwing himself all over the place on the floor, doing things, and then by the end of the match or the tournament, he's hurt because then all of the stuff that he was doing, like. Literally, he's throwing himself on the floor to get balls, and then you realize he's spraying some.
Any American for the French Open? When is that? Next week?
Well, Americans don't usually do good in the French Open. The only person.
When is the French Open?
Coco Gauff is an American, and she plays good. I don't see why she can't win the tournament. She's
yeah, the men. Who's carrying the men? The American men. Who's gonna?
Well, Taylor Fritz, Tommy Paul. I think Tommy Paul should be a good player on clay.
Tiafo?
I don't see why he isn't better. Tiafo is too inconsistent. He has the game, but he doesn't have the mental capacity.
That's true.
He doesn't. He has the game. He has the ability, but he doesn't. The one thing that he needs is the between the ears, the brain, the mental capacity in order to maintain his level and win a match. He needs to believe. He gets nervous, but he needs to believe that he can do it. He doesn't believe. He doesn't believe. He does not, and that's what you need in tennis: belief. If you
When
don't have
does French Open, when does it start? French Open.
Wimbledon, is gonna. I mean, the French Open is gonna be in 2 weeks.
Okay. And let's switch gears to one lap. But first, before we wrap up, I wanted to find out from you, the Pope. In the what do you think about the new Pope from the
From
American Pope?
right, he's from New York.
From okay, he was born in Chicago. He's from Chicago, and then he went to college in Philadelphia. He spent his college years in Philadelphia or in Villanova.
Yeah, but wasn't he like a cardinal? Wasn't he a bishop? Wasn't he? Was he a priest?
Peru. No, then he went to Peru. He spent his
Oh,
time in
Chicago.
Peru. He's from Chicago, then then Philadelphia, went to Villanova, from there to Peru, where he spent.
Oh, wow, Villanova is actually like
Yeah,
stuck up. I didn't know there's a lot of great people like the Nick Bronson and like the stars from the Knicks are from Villanova. So,
that's
and I remember he went to Peru. They were talking about him going to Peru, and he could speak 5 languages.
I heard 15. I don't know if it's 5. I heard 15. I don't know how many.
Whatever it is, he can make
But
multiple.
he went to Peru, and that's where he did most of his ministry. And then from there, he went to the Vatican. Pope Francis called him to the Vatican and appointed him as a cardinal. And his job was to well,
Yeah, apparently the money they have a lot of money in the priest and the Catholic in New York in the U.S. has a lot of money. So apparently by choosing him, they can open up their pocketbooks. As somebody mentioned, how they open up their pocketbooks
I
to
mean,
help.
that's what. If you listen to the podcast, I had predicted that it would be an American.
Yes, we talked about that. They have to pay for, that sprawling. What's that thing in Rome called? What do you call that? I don't know.
Vatican City.
The Vatican City or the Vatican or whatever.
Yeah, but don't they? No, but they have a governmental system there. Don't the citizens pay taxes and so on? Yes, and the Pope is the premier of Rome. So Rome is actually a place where people live, and the head of the government is the Pope as well. Outside of him being the head of the church, he's also head of Rome.
So he has to understand the Roman system, but he's smart. Apparently, he's a very intelligent guy. He understands the papacy really well, really, really well, in and out. So he was by far the best candidate because he understands the papacy and was able, and so they feel as though they want to choose somebody who understands it, who can run it, who also can communicate with people from all walks of life, with different languages. Because the ability to speak 5 different or plus languages with different countries makes him so much better to understand how to work people. But he also has his knowledge in studying. I think he comes from what's his name?
Augustinian.
What?
Augustinian.
Yes, he's from the Augustinian order, which is the old order, and that's very important. So we're talking about that. I don't understand the Catholic Church, really and truly. I went to a Catholic school called St. Catherine High. I couldn't care less. Okay, ready?
Yes, I'm still here, Ricardo. Sorry.
Yes. So, anyway, it was great connecting. Let's keep going. With much to talk about. Let's see what happened in basketball. Let's see what happened in the French Open.
Who do you have winning basketball this year?
I told you already.
Who's that?
Whoever the referee think it's the referee. The umpires can determine who wins. The referees. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I think OKC is great. They're very good. But Denver Nuggets, man, they look. I think Denver might take it. I'm going to say Denver.
I think Denver looks good, man. I think
Denver Nuggets. Because if they could beat OKC, no, they're going to get it again. And they got it.
And the Clippers were good. The Clippers were tough. Yes, they really brought it. And they're well coached. But Denver, just for some reason, I just like that team, Denver.
Yeah, I would say.
But Minnesota is good too. But I don't know. Golden State is good too.
All right, everyone. It was great. Thanks for joining.
This is the Nearly Well podcast. In fact, this is the Pulse part 7, is it? This is the Pulse part 7. Yes? This is part 7, yes?
The 4th I've been on.
This is part 7, actually.
I can't remember.
Part 7. And of course, we talked about Trump. We talked about sports. And there's much more to talk about.
Did you know what?
Ricardo will interview me because, I'm the author of Neoliberalism. We're celebrating 4 years of the publication.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day to all the
mothers. This right about Mother's Day, so even if you listen to the podcast, you're all mothers, so you should be happy. Have a happy Mother's Day every single day of your life.
And we talk about it. Oh, and by the way, and this is we're letting down our hair on this podcast. It's a weekend. Usually we have the weekend with Montel, Dante, and Renaldo. But this weekend we have the months with Ricardo. And cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Nearly well on.